Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, or good morning, good afternoon. Happy Kwanzaa, whenever you're listening to this. Welcome to what is this, episode 4 of
Yep.
the Bacon and Eggs podcast. Now with added bonus of we're going to be uploading on YouTube. So if you're looking at us, seeing us for the first time, hello.
You'll probably see some stupid shit that gets cut out of the just
Yeah.
audio version.
Honestly, yeah.
So
It's gonna be.
just want to start off with a general, how are you guys doing?
Not too bad.
Yeah,
How are
pretty
you
good.
guys? Yeah. Nice.
Good. Well, then let's get right into it. I was the one in charge of the questions this week, so I'm pretty excited about it. And I want to start off with the first question, which is, have you guys ever considered joining the military? And if so, what branch or job interested you, and why did you decide that it wasn't the right decision for you?
Alex, do you want to start that one off there?
Yeah. I think I can probably come up with enough words for that topic there. So, I've had a lot of friends that have taken that path, and Tylor and Kyle being Kyle's a mutual friend of Tyler and I's for the podcast and video listeners there. But you two are the closest that the closest relationships that I've had with people who have been in the military. No parents or any family, or my cousin just joined, but so
Mazel tov.
it wasn't in the family, and I think that for some people that's a big portion of it. So I fully support the military and stuff, but it's something that I have always wondered, what if I would have done that? What if I would have taken that path? And I was this big old fat boy around the time where people normally start making those kind of decisions. So it would have either. I think that's like the older version of me, or the younger version of me, longer ago, would have joined for that purpose. Like, someone's got to teach me something here. I'm a big old boy, But I think that the more recent version of me probably would have joined a military branch, whichever one that would allow me to kind of see as much as I can see, kind of maybe stay out of the combat zone. I don't know. I'm not a very physical person. I'm not a damaging person as far as that goes. I'm not
Join the National Guard.
Yeah, I'm not very threatening, but I'd love to explore the world for free and then get to go to college when I get back.
That's how they get you.
That's how they get
Yeah.
you. It really is.
Nice.
It's a pretty good answer.
But as far as the branch goes, I think that probably Navy, right?
Nice. Suck up, but
Yeah. I mean, I'm not being a suck up. I seriously, I'm not joining the Marines because that's a tough one.
Yeah, you gotta eat the jumbo crayons.
Yeah. I don't have enough money. Crayolas are expensive, and Rose Arts don't quite fill their appetite like they should.
Any thoughts on what job you want to do? You said non-combat, but
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, combat, honestly, I couldn't do combat, and I think that that's the biggest deterrent as far as military goes in general. I don't know. I've never really been a confrontational person, so the military is a scary place for that, and I don't mind not being confrontational. It makes me kind of try and see other people's perspectives instead of pushing my own all the time. And I don't necessarily see a problem with that. However, military kind of fixes some of those issues, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It makes you feel numb to a lot of the emotions that I take for granted, I think.
I could definitely see that. I did. It's a pretty good response overall.
Yeah.
What about you, Hunter?
So, in high school, like for whoever doesn't know, I started an apprenticeship program in my senior year for mold making and whatnot. But there was a period before that where, it was time to start filling out college applications and kind of getting scholarships and everything. And I had 0 scholarships. Like, I didn't have anything. And I was just very ill prepared for that time. And,
Did you see
Sorry.
No,
I'm
you're
trying to
good.
get him to calm down. He doesn't
I
understand.
saw that very subtle push to the side.
That was good.
But so like I really didn't have a whole lot of plans. I mean, I kind of knew what I wanted to go into, but not a way of really paying for it or anything. So I kind of got thinking about the military, and that was kind of my moment where I was like, I want to get into this apprenticeship program, but if not, like, I'll probably go into the military. And being that, like, your dad, like, I've always looked up to your dad a lot, and him being in the Navy and everything, like, that would definitely be where I'd go if I would have gone into the military.
Navy around the board.
So,
It's pretty cool.
yeah.
Any idea what job you'd want to do?
I have no idea. I'd just take the ASVAB and see what I qualify for.
You
Kyle's
guys would
so
both
pissed
probably
off right
go to
now, by the way.
shoehorn into nuke for sure.
I don't know.
Kyle, if you're listening, we love you.
But none of us would join the army.
Do you have like a machine shop in the Navy?
Yeah,
Is that something
yeah.
I could do?
Actually,
Surely,
machinist
surely.
mate is a nuclear rate.
Really?
Yeah, well, there's machinist mates, auxiliary, nuclear, all that, but they actually can do works with lathes. We have a lathe on the submarine. We never use it.
Really? Oh my
Yeah.
god, that'd be awesome.
Okay.
I would
Welding,
love. Okay,
all
that's exactly what I want to do. I want to be a machinist mate.
All right.
Machinist
We're
mate.
solid. All right, so I'm actually a recruiter, and your papers will be in the mail.
Perfect.
So
Well,
the
what's my
reason I
sign-on
wanted-
bonus again?
Actually, they've raised it. I think it's like $50K for the sign-on and $100K for the reenlistment.
Damn.
Yeah, so
All right.
it's not worth it.
I
Don't
mean,
do
that
it.
gets you a little bit closer to your retirement plan there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the reason I asked this question is because I heard a very accurate assessment of the military, and it's that the military for men is what being a stripper is for women, because it's your plan. Like, well, if this doesn't pan out, fuck it, I'll just be a stripper.
It's your last resort,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah.
Just to touch on a bit of why I joined the Navy, I'd say
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
everyone here has gotten to that point where you're out of high school. You're like, well, shit. Do I go to college? Do I decide to work a job? Do I go into trades? You gotta make like a big decision, and it feels like you kind of have to decide what you're gonna do for the rest of your life. So I'll be the first person to say I took the cop out, and I said this sounds like a safe bet. Let someone else make the decisions for me for a couple years. I'd already flirted with the idea of my dad was enlisted, so he really wanted me to join as an officer if I was going to join. And so I reasoned in my head and said, you know what? I was going to go to NC State for physics and then try to join and be a pilot. And I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? If I don't like the Navy and I went to school for physics, I don't know what I can do with
Be a
that.
physics instructor. That's
Be a
it.
physics instructor. So I told myself, you know what? If I joined enlisted, there are plenty of opportunities to move to being an officer while in the Navy. Yeah. You say bad dog? He's a
Oh
good
crap!
boy.
You could tell.
So that was my reasoning. I kind of took the easy way out with the assumption that if I liked the Navy, I'd just go be an officer, which, if anyone's listening and thinks that, it is not that easy. I applied for officer programs 4 years in a row, and they told me to fuck off every time.
Oh shit. Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah, so I said fuck it, be a stripper.
I mean, listen,
Hey,
as
if
long
that's
as
what
it's
gets you through it.
taxed and and done in the proper manner, sure, go for it.
I mean, look where you're at now. It got you where you needed to be, right?
Yeah, I don't regret it. It taught me skills. And speaking of skills, that's a perfect segue into my next question. Because my next question. Are you guys? Do you have anything else to?
We're
say about it?
only 9 minutes in, by the way.
It's okay.
So about
Okay.
the military.
We can always cut it a little. We can always cut it a little short, but I feel like we've got a lot to talk about on number 3.
I
So
think so too.
I'm nervous about number 3. Oh my gosh. There's gonna be so much ranting and emotions that are talked about. I'm so excited. All right, let's talk.
Clickbait. Three friends talk about topics. You won't believe number 3.
You won't. In a world.
Number 3 will make
In
you
a
cry.
world.
Don't watch alone.
All right.
Okay, so
What a.
I am ready to talk about my second topic, which is if money was not an issue, what are 3 skills that you'd like to perfect, and what would you use them for? So, Hunter, would you like to start us off with this one?
Yeah, I'll hit that one. So the first 2 are kind of cop-outs because it's a lot of what I do already. But like, if money were no object and I had the time to really perfect these things, one would be woodworking, just because like I love to work with my hands and everything like that.
Woodcutting.
Yes.
IRL.
Yeah, there's just so much that you can do, and it's so cool. And money's definitely an issue because you got tools and lumber and everything like that.
And time is a big money issue too.
Yeah. And then like just having all of that knowledge and being able to do all that stuff, like you can make a lot of money, you know. Are you good?
I watched him drink his monster, but it was like. I'm definitely. If I get to the time, I'm gonna Photoshop that. That's gonna be great.
Please do.
I almost choked on that. I took one sip and I was like, wait, that wasn't in frame enough. And then like, okay, I'm sorry.
Woodworking.
All right, so woodworking is one. Number 2 is just programming, web development, software development, and that's literally what I'm in school for. So I'm kind of on my way there. But like I really want to hone those skills in because I mean there's just so much money to be made. I mean just on your own, you know, but also just in businesses and everything. I mean I think websites right now, if you know how to program in JavaScript, websites are going for like between like 3 and 7K, just like at a minimum, between like 3 and 5 like minimum. Yeah.
Does that include having to, I mean, like uphold them? Or
so like you can sign in the contract, you have like a year's worth of maintenance or whatever, but like it's not that bad because like most of it's done through the hosting side anyway, so you're buying from GoDaddy and then you're just setting it all up and stuff, so it's not bad.
Yeah.
Do you set up the host name then, or do you get a domain already assigned to you and you just work on that domain?
So it'll probably go either way.
I figure it might be more valuable if you get a unique name already, or
right. So like they'll probably have a domain that they're wanting and stuff, and then you just go and buy something. If you can't get that, then something similar. And then and then like I was always really into like the game programming and stuff like that, but that job is apparently shit. It's ridiculous hours, low pay, and like people I hear are just miserable.
Because everyone wants to do it because it's a kick-ass job, but that kind of hurts the competition, where now you got a lot of people who want to do it.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't help the workers either because they're just overworked, and if you don't want to do it anymore, then get fucked. You know, we got somebody else.
There was a big controversy recently. Was it with EA, or it was some big gaming company that just like massively bumped up all the hours ahead of some project, released a massively successful and profitable product, and then just fired almost all their employees.
Really?
Yeah. It was. I mean, I watched it on the RuneScape stream, where they're talking about like the games industry as a whole.
Right.
Do you know who it was?
So I was talking about how the sort of predatory practices that some big game companies use with their employees.
No, I was here. Who was the company that did that?
I'm lodging some pretty big accusations against EA without knowing if it's EA, but it's absolutely EA.
I thought you said EA, but I didn't know if it was like a subsidiary of EA or something like that. You know, like one of their little branch companies that they back or whatever, and then it ends up kind of screwing them over at the end. And they, you know, you always hear about those startup companies that ended up coming out and screwing everyone.
Yeah.
And I don't know, but it doesn't normally happen under a big name like EA. If that's EA, that's pretty crazy.
Well, we're talking about it. It must be EA. And it's pretty obvious that you would use that perfected skill to make them big bucks. But what did you want to use the woodworking for? Is that profit as well, or just for leisure?
Kind of both. Like, because I'm always trying to get something started up on the side, so anything I can do in that regard. But honestly, like, I like working with my hands, so it's just something fun that I can do, and it's something that I can, like, put up and see, and it's nice to, like, see your work go into something.
Yeah, dude.
So,
Speaking of
honestly,
setting up... Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Speaking of setting up something on the side, if everyone here goes to shop.hunter.com, you can buy custom woodworking, you can buy custom websites, you can buy silverware. Hunter makes silverware. They're whittled. Fresh silverware for you.
Mm-hmm.
Shop.hunter.com.
Dude,
I wish. That'll be a thing one day, I promise.
Link will be in the bio of the social media that I'll be setting up in the upcoming week.
We're really
Perfect.
piling on the work that we have to do before we can release this.
Yes.
That's all right. No, it's not a big deal. No, we can release it, and then, then when people get to... I mean, listen, we already have an episode ready to drop before this one, so...
Well,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yep.
Yeah, we're good. We got time, guys. We're good.
Yeah.
But, honestly, I love... So, Hunter, I knew that you were going to say woodworking, honestly, just because, working with metal and stuff, and CNC work, and lathing, and all
Yeah.
that. I mean, it has to be applicable, and wood is just so much easier to work. It's so much more delicate. It's a little bit more. It's a little bit more forgiving, I guess, and a little less expensive, probably. But I think that your ability to actually work it with your hands and move it with how you feel instead of what you plug into a computer, I think it kind of changes the aspect of it. I mean, I know that it's a completely different, work, but you get to toughen up those fingers a little.
Oh, I promise you, the wood didn't need to callus my hands. My hands are calloused enough.
I can imagine,
like,
so, man.
They're very similar, obviously, because you've got a lot of the same stuff, but like they're each beasts on their own. Because I mean, I'm extremely comfortable metalworking, and I'm definitely not as comfortable working with wood. Wood splinters and everything. You've got to be aware of the grains and the hardness of the wood, how dry the wood is and stuff, and it's just there's a lot to take in when you're working on projects like that. So, each is a different beast. But I definitely, I would have, I thought about it because I would have said metalworking or just working with my hands as a whole, but just kind of going into it, metalworking, I know we said no, money's not an object, but metalworking is just so much more expensive. Just the material alone is extremely expensive, so.
The reason why we didn't talk about, the monetary, is just like, you picked woodworking because it's more than just the monetary for you. Like, there's so many different... It's something that you want to be passionate about. So, I think that monetary is a later thing that you can talk about way later. It's just a small detail of all of those other facts. So, you're good to say that.
Fun fact for you, Hunter. I know we haven't let you get to your third, but I got a couple points on some of this. But for metalworking, I do, at my work, I can get a scrap pass and buy anything in the scrapyard for 25 cents a pound. So if you want metal... Got all sorts of metal.
That is amazing. I will definitely let you know when the occasion arises.
Nice. But programming wise, there are PLC programmers that come out to any of the sites for the companies that I work for. And just as a little reference, these guys are pretty experienced, fly all over the world to do their work, but they go somewhere for maybe 2-3 weeks, program up the PLCs for their systems that they're installing. And the guy that recently came over, super interesting life story, but his net worth is something like $15 million right now, and he just, for some reason, he's like in his 60s, but he still is working.
Hashtag goals.
Yeah, still is working, still enjoys it. I have no idea what a contract is. I wouldn't be able to say insane. What he probably gets, but
that's crazy.
$15 million.
That's crazy money.
He made it.
That's so crazy.
PLC programming is like when you're first starting it out, it's like super simple. It's just super simple ladder diagrams and everything, but it gets complicated real quick.
Yeah, especially when you go to a statement or a functional block diagram, I think are a little harder. Not in that order. I think functional block diagram is easier than statement, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, sorry, if you can do your third skill now, we will allow it.
Yeah, so number 3 for me. Okay, and this one's just... purely
can I plug one thing on the woodworking?
Yes.
One thing. Okay, my buddy at work, John, he's a really good work buddy of mine. Worked with him for a long time. We've always talked about trying to get a business started. And then my brother-in-law, and he does the maintenance for work. And so we have gotten together and we've bought a slab of wood, and we're turning it into a epoxy pour table, like a coffee table. And we've already talked to Tyler about this. And he might be, a prospect for our first buyer, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, I'm all in.
However,
I gotta talk to Tiffany. Tiffany says she wants to see it first.
Well, it'll probably be like the end of next month before. Right now we're working on our first one, and it's, it is what it is. It's the second one is what's going to matter. The first one, so our first slab of wood that we bought, it wasn't quite dry enough. Mm-hmm. And so it has to acclimate, whatever. And so it's probably got, about a couple weeks, and then we'll start getting to it. But the first one, it's dried, we broke it, we have a lot of sanding to do. Anyway, this is a long thing to say. I've been doing a little woodworking on the side at work with a couple buddies. They've put a lot more work into it than I have, but I got a little skin in the game. I bought some sanding tools and stuff, so I can't say that it's like something that, it's not one of mine, because I knew that Hunter was going to choose one. However, it is something that I've always been jealous of, because of just the wood is, I love being out in the woods and stuff. So if somebody can turn that into something I can see inside, it's so awesome. So I love really nice wood furniture and all that stuff. So I'm really jealous of people who are able to actually create tangible things that you can use and utilize with, that beautiful wood.
It's good perspective, and I'm excited about that table.
Dude, I'm really excited. And we also made some coasters with some knots that we cut out, and they turned out pretty cool too. But anyway, lots of sanding to do. We don't have a planer, so we're going. We're doing it. We're gonna borrow my sister's father's planer. He's gonna help us work on it. He is an actual woodworker. Nice. So yeah, it's cool. I'm excited to. I always talk about liking to work with my hands, and I'm hoping that I can kind of delve into all these new activities and stuff to actually be able to do that. But so I'm really jealous of Hunter's answer there, because that's such a huge one. It's not one of my answers, but it's not one of mine, because I've never been able to experience it before. And you're sitting here, working with metal and then creating all this other stuff with lathes and all this, and it's really awesome.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun. I mean, you can make anything. I mean, once you know the basics, you can make anything. So
Iron Man suit. Can you make an Iron Man suit?
Can you make an Iron Man suit? You need unobtainium, right?
Is the suit made out of unobtainium?
Probably not. I don't know.
Think the suit is.
I don't know what it's made out of. Just the shield was. There's not enough unobtainium.
The shield's made out of vibranium.
Vibranium.
Oh yeah,
maybe that's what it is.
Unobtainium is a real element, though. Unobtainium is a real element, isn't it?
Honestly, all of these UFOs and stuff, something has to be out there that would be close, right?
I'm not talking about this again.
Maybe it's unobtainium that I'm thinking about.
Unobtainium. It's unobtainable is what it is.
Nope, it's not.
So
a real
anyway,
thing.
Hunter, I'm sorry to derail you from your third question there, but
no, you're good.
If you want to go ahead and lead into that,
if I could just
listen, hear me out just for 1 second, please.
Just to piggyback on what Alex has got to say, I'm just going to say, wood is beautiful.
I'm so pretentious, and I don't know. I don't know where it comes from, but it's beautiful. I'm not pretentious. Hunter, question 3, please go ahead.
No, it's not a question. It's still an answer to question 2, but.
So, Hunter, answer to question number 2. I kept saying question.
All right.
Hey, Hunter, what do you got for your third part of question 2?
I'm gonna kick your ass if you don't shut up.
I was just trying to give you a nice little segue.
I appreciate it. Thank you. So, my third one, and this is purely for pleasure, and I've never even touched it, but I want to become an expert at the saxophone.
Oh!
You'll be sexy saxophone, man?
Yes.
Dude,
It is like the sexiest instrument, and I want that.
that is such an awesome answer. Oh my god, I was not expecting that. Thank you.
You know what I'm
see,
really
I
Do you
mad
like
about?
jazz? Do you like jazz and stuff?
No. I
Alright.
just like saxophone. I mean,
Well,
I
hell
don't like
yeah,
jazz.
let's play some
I-
saxophone, man.
Yeah, I don't know how to play saxophone. I don't own a saxophone, so
I'm really excited for
Okay.
the edit because I'm
Epic,
definitely putting
epic sax guy is actually Hunter.
that's right.
Duke Silver
Come
move
on.
from Parks and
Yeah.
Rec.
So, what is it? What about it? What about it makes you?
I don't know. It's not like jazz or anything. I just love like any like what was it, 80s saxophone and rock songs is like fantastic.
Okay,
And I
like
just love it.
you're talking like rock opera songs, huh?
Kinda.
Man, love me some Meatloaf.
Like, oh god. I know what song I'm trying to think of. What is it? Never gonna dance again.
This guilty
Guilty
feeling
Yeah.
got no
rhythm. I mean, the saxophone in that song is fantastic. I just
It
want
is.
to be able to play it because
That
it
song
just
is so
sounds so
timeless.
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it is. Thank you.
Yeah, honestly, the saxophone, that's such an awesome answer, man. I love that. I love that a lot. As a musician, I did not even choose anything music related for my question, too,
Yeah,
which
because
is crazy.
you're a musician. You're already there. You're good.
perfected.
No, but
Perfected.
like
All
I
of
have
it.
not. No. I am far from perfecting anything relating to music whatsoever. And for me to not choose that, that's crazy. That's so crazy to me.
Well, what did you choose, Alex?
Well, you want to hear what I chose here for question number 2?
I do want to hear what you chose for question 2.
Well,
Hey, Alex, what'd you choose for question 2?
so something that I've been putting off here for a little bit, and I've been watching videos of it for a long time. I've been really wanting to get good at leatherworking. Listen, I could show you. I've got all my leatherworking stuff sitting right over here, and I just in this tiny little place that I call home. There is no place that I can set up. I don't know. I don't know why I chose to buy it now. So I gotta stop finding excuses, find a place to do it. But my answer number 1 is for leatherworking. Okay, listen. It's so embarrassing. I have it all. I've been putting it off. I gotta be an expert. So let's do it the free way. Okay? Let's
you
do
go.
it this way. It's just gonna be a make-believe answer that I provide for you. But honestly, I think it would be amazing to be able to do leatherworking. And I think similar things to just creation in general. I like working with my hands. I like talking. That I use my hands, but then I get to some kind of actual thing that would involve that. And man, leatherworking is a tough one. It's a lot harder than the videos make it look. It requires very rough hands, and your hands get destroyed, especially by sewing and stuff. And so I just want to take the quick route. Just give me that leatherworking all the way. I want to be a master at it because I love everything about it. I think it's beautiful. It lasts a lot longer. It's I don't know. Do you guys like leather? Is that
What's
is that
What's
something
your
you
favorite
guys
hide
like?
to work with?
Do what?
What is your favorite hide to work with?
As far as like I'm top
All right,
grain
you're
or
just you're just using regular leather, like nothing.
yeah, top grain like veg tan.
Okay.
Yeah, veg tan. I think it's 6mm or 6 ounce. I mean, not millimeter. 6 ounce veg tan. I just got like a little. I'd say it's like a 2 by 2 foot by 2 foot piece. That's probably like an eighth of a side of leather. And hold on, I got a notification. It's probably like an eighth of a side of a leather. Sorry, of a hide or whatever. But it was enough that I can get a couple good projects out of it, and I got a couple wallet kits and a couple belt kits just so I can practice my sewing and my painting and my rivet setting and all that cool stuff.
Nice.
So that's why I had to pick that one, because it's just, I don't know why it's exciting for me, but it's such a cool thing. It's just like it's been used for as long as hunting animals has been used. So I don't know. It's timeless. It lasts a long time. I love the way it smells and feels, and it's very vintage feeling, even though it's not vintage because you can create it now.
Yeah.
I like leather a lot, and it's extremely versatile, so there's a lot of stuff you can do, and a lot of unique things that people aren't doing right now. So I'm not sure if it was just for leisure, if it was for like monetary, but I feel like, that would be amazing. There's so much things you could branch out to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily have to make money with it. Honestly, I think that part of my retirement, would be having just an awesome YouTube channel, an awesome leatherworking shop, and an awesome recording studio for guitar. And I've got it all set out in my head. Like it would be the music playing over my leatherworking videos, and it would switch back and forth to me creating stuff with leather and me sitting there playing guitar in the shop to, some kind of cool little guitar lick I've created. I just think it would be a lot of fun. I've had it all in my head for a while. I'd love to just be able to do it.
Have you considered branching out to the BDSM scene? Because I have some contacts.
Honestly, I had to erase that right here, but I had the BDS scene in parentheses directly after that. But I thought, that probably isn't going to cater to the right crowd that we're trying to talk to here. So
no, we're not excluding anyone. Okay.
It's not that we're excluding anybody, but I just don't want to get canceled immediately,
All right, everybody, shop.alex.com for our BDSM products.
All right, everybody. If you drop the code BDSM at shop.alex.com, you'll get your first set of assless chaps for 20% off. And
I'm
free
not going to sit
shipping
here
to
and
any
try and
country.
rival OkCupid, so...
OkCupid?
Yeah, that's the big one that you hear on podcasts and stuff. You hear that ad play. I mean, hey, man, if they want to sponsor, I just won't share because of... sorry, church. I'm not Catholic.
Tiffany and I met on Tinder. If Tinder wants to reach out, we got you.
I mean, hey, yeah. Honestly.
Wait, you've been on there together?
Oh yeah, Tinder success stories. I see. What would you say, Hunter?
I said you guys are on there together. What are you trying to do?
Yeah, Alex and I had a joint account actually. So, and whenever I messaged Tiffany originally, she's like, "Hey, are you the cutie on the left?" I was like, "No."
No, not quite.
What
did I say that prompted that? I didn't mean to...
No, Tyler was like, me and Tiffany were on Tinder, and I was like, what, were you guys on there together?
So it's a joint page.
Yeah,
like a couple
you see what I'm saying now.
Yeah, trying to find
we were on there together. And then they just gave up and then decided to get married.
Yeah, this ain't working out.
Yeah, that's what it was. I always see Tinder comment on like TikToks and stuff, so they're out there, man. They're listening, okay?
They're plugged in.
We just gotta share to the right places, okay? Listen, these clips can be put on social media.
Yeah.
Funny little snippets.
Mm-hmm.
This entire podcast will be posted to TikTok in 5-second intervals.
Oh God.
Swipe down for part 2.
My phone can't right now because I don't think that you can upload TikToks from the computer.
That would take forever.
That would be bad. Listen, I have 2 terabytes? Yeah, 2 terabytes of iCloud space, so I could make do.
Nice.
I have the family package, and I don't share it with my family. Hey, family, I know that some of you are going to listen to this episode. Just hit me up for that information.
I'd be nervous to share my iCloud with my family. I'm into some weird shit, dude.
No, you're right. I'm not going to. It's fine.
Yeah, like chicken nugget porn. Don't ask. Okay, so it's when.
Okay, so, the second part of my answer there, second out of third part, I think that was a horrible segue, but it's fine. It's a great place to part ways with that. Coding. I want to talk about coding.
Yes.
I know nothing about it. I know that there's HTML. I know that people love their Linux computers, and I know nothing about Raspberry Pis.
So So correct me if
So-
I'm wrong, Hunter, but is coding and programming not the same thing?
Yeah, it is. So
Okay, so
HTML,
programming
yeah.
interlaced there. So
Yeah.
listen.
So,
Inform me,
like, what do you
please.
want to do? I mean, because you've got different languages that do different things. Like, if you're
So it's mastering coding.
that's so
That
general.
is the answer. So I need to know. I would need to know enough that I would be able to communicate with any coding software. I would be able to talk to, I would be able to know the coding language for each of those. I mean, coding's coding, right? If you know the matrix, then you know it all. So I would need to know all of that, right?
I would.
So,
Yeah,
go ahead.
you take this away, Hunter. I think you're more qualified to talk about it.
I was gonna say. So, you have different.
It's a horrible question.
It was a horrible answer, but no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Okay, let me give some backing to my just before you, because I understand enough about coding. I just know that you guys know more about it than I do. The reason why I phrased it the way that I did is because I was trying to act like I didn't know what I was talking about a little. I wanted to seem a little bit ignorant about it. The thing is, with the way that I answer, like, so there's so many different aspects to coding. There's so many different languages. There's so many different platforms that are available for it. It can be as basic as, I've seen people get very creative with Excel.
Oh yeah.
And so, I mean, mastering coding would mean that you're now a master of Excel. So I guess that my answer wouldn't be coding in general. It'd be understanding the language that would, I don't know. I don't know enough about it. I know enough about it to understand that I'm very intrigued by it, and I know that there's nuances between every individual aspect of it. But I guess I want to be more educated in it. So I guess you're gonna have to educate me a little bit, and then maybe I will add a little bit of coding blank at the end of that.
Well, so like, what is your end product? So what are you wanting to code? Are you wanting to build websites? Are you wanting to build software? Are you wanting to code? Are you wanting to program the machines that people are working on? Like, what are you wanting to do? Because like, basically the different languages are for different things.
Yeah, I think if you take the monetary value out of coding, what's the point of it?
I would like to. So obviously I'm not a genius coder or anything. I do a little bit of programming for my job, working with, like Hunter was talking about, automation. But I am supremely interested because of what I did. I'm an electrician by trade. So whatever I learned in the Navy and the nuclear electrician school was component level, like how you take a single 1 or a single 0 and you turn that into a logic gate. A logic gate that can just perform a simple and, or, nor, that sort of function. And then you start to realize how literally just 1s and 0s can do anything in the entire world. And it is insane. So I can't talk to how that's actually implemented into any sort of programming language. The only thing I deal with is ladder logic for the most part. But I'm extremely impressed, extremely interested, and I think it's a great answer. I don't know if I'm still talking to you, Alex, but I think it's a fantastic answer. And I think that coding in general, it's understanding at like a transistor level what's going on. I think, for me personally, would consider you a master of how, like, the fundamentals of coding.
Thank you. I think that is what I was looking for, and I think that the 1s and the 0s, the actual matrix aspect of it is so awesome to me. It is so crazy to me that with 1s and 0s, everything that we know that exists right now that is allowing for all of this to take place is happening just by 1s and 0s.
You gotta pop that microphone over a little bit. I think your microphone's a little bit out.
Yeah, it was on Audacity was fine though.
Oh, okay, cool.
I just had my Discord pulled away because I was putting Finn up. Sorry.
I got you. My bad.
No, it's cool.
Yeah, I will never understand the ones and zeros behind it all. No matter, like, I've taken the classes and everything, and done all, like, the component wise and all the, like, it's so, like, that stuff, like, broke my brain when I was learning about it, and I will never ever choose to go in that direction at all. I will stick to my high level programming languages.
I can write this out. I don't know if I can.
Isn't that so crazy that the stuff that you go to school and you learn about all these different aspects of this system, but truly deep down, everyone's just like, well, it kind of just works because it does, you know.
I'm still convinced that it's actually just powered by magicians that, you know, or somewhere else. We don't
tiny
actually
little people.
Yeah,
Tiny little people. Yeah, that's what it is. These little guys.
There's still magic that goes on in there.
I'm going to show something real quick for people. People not watching on YouTube or watching the video won't know this, but Hunter, you definitely recognize this. This is an AND gate, and it's literally just you put a 1 on this input, a 1 on this input, and you get a 1 here. So you need to have both inputs to be 1 to get a 1. Very, very simple, like the basics of how 1s and 0s make logic. But if you were to write this out on the transistor level, which is just like we talked about before, the silicon germanium transistor, you've got like 2 pages. Maybe not that bad, but if it was this big, it'd be 2 pages. We did it in Power School a bit, where you could just see one logic circuit that just solves like one problem is like 16 pages long. It's insane.
Dude, that blows my mind. That makes me so excited for knowing how far humans have come. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but like, you know, everybody gets so caught up in all the bad stuff that's going on. I'm just like, can you imagine? Like, it's those times. People don't even realize. They take it all for granted. I don't know. It's just like, thank you humanity for some of the cool things that we've done. I'm sorry for the bad, but man, these tiny little things that we've figured out.
Dude,
I don't know.
The advent. I'm sorry for going off about this, but I'll try to see if I can post a picture on the advent of the transistor back. What was it? Almost 70 years ago now. Maybe 50 years ago. But the first transistor was like the size, maybe not the first, but early transistors were like the size of a hockey puck, with just little 3 prongs, and there's more you can get into it. But to think that hockey puck sized transistor that takes, you know, hundreds to make a logic gate, there are now millions and billions of them per square inch. I mean, I might be a little fuzzy on the numbers, but very close, to the point where it's staggering for my brain to think what sort of stuff is going on. That's pretty crazy.
It is
very,
crazy,
very
sure.
thought-provoking answer. I like that.
I'm sorry for coming. I wasted a little bit of time there not explaining my, my answer a little bit better there. Sorry, Hunter, about that.
No, it's all good.
I kind of handed it as a confusing answer, but and I kind of want to segue into my.
You want to be a master at the segue? That is interesting.
I want to be a master at the segue. Okay, so I think that I don't know how to. I don't know what the correct way of answering this, but like historian or like archaeologist, I think would be. I'm very intrigued by ancient civilizations, and I think that some of them thought that they were kind of onto the computer scene back in the day, so I think that those kind of tie into each other. There's some evidence that there are some cool devices and stuff that were what we would consider to be early computers, things that could somewhat compute, to a certain degree. The way that we understand it, we've recreated these things that they've sort of designed, and they were onto something. They really were, and those are just the things that we have found.
Yeah.
So imagine, I don't know, talking about, I'd love to find out about all these humanities and all these, we know we exist. We think that we've only existed about a certain amount of time. Well, who knows? I'd love to get into those Egyptian tombs and stuff.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Be really awesome, man.
Yeah.
I think that the Vatican has a lot of secrets underneath the, in their archives and stuff. I think that they know a lot of things and have a lot of evidence, but want to keep it secret. Vatican, please don't come at me. And that's not an attack on you. I think
you did
that
the
you
Hail
guys
Mary,
like
dude,
your
you're good.
Yeah, I did. I think that there is some well guarded secrets out there, and there's also a lot of information burned in the fire, in the Library of Alexandria. So
That's the submarine I was on,
don't
the
know.
USS Alexandria.
yeah,
It all ties
but
in.
I think that do
I
what?
said it all ties in.
It all ties in. Yeah, I think that that's really cool though. I think that I love ancient civilization. They're so intriguing. The what was the mindset back then? I'd love to be able to just have the ability to soak it all in. And I guess with all of that might come learning languages and stuff at an expert level. But if I'm not doing it for profit, then who am I hurting?
Hey, you could be good at programming and write algorithms to decode all these different things.
Yeah, you could
Dude.
You could find secret coding languages in the history. Dude, this is a crazy crossover. We can make
This is a really crazy.
the
So
Da Vinci Code. Whoa.
yeah, the Da Vinci Code. And so I saw a TikTok earlier, and I'll have to share it with you guys later. I've got it saved, and let me take a sip really quick. My mouth was getting dry. And that wasn't on purpose. Truly, hey, honestly, hit me up, please. That'd be so sick. Carb conscious. So I saw this TikTok, and this guy started going on this crazy rant about this idea that the Great Pyramids and stuff, they were set up in just a way that they almost perfectly mimic a motherboard, and that the Egyptians were trying to harness some kind of solar power, blah blah blah, to power something. But he goes into diagrams of the tombs, how the echo chambers are, I don't know. He goes into all of it, and I'll have to send it to you because it's really interesting. I'm sure Tyler is gonna look at it and be like, okay, all of these people don't know what they're talking about, and I'm very excited for that. But I just thought it was neat and thought that I would share it. But they found these vases in Afghanistan, or I think it was in Afghanistan, that were ancient batteries.
Mesopotamia.
Yeah, the copper, and it was what were they powering? What was the point of that?
It's actually a
So-
super fun topic.
Yeah,
We've had-
that's honestly that ancient. Okay, I can kind of hone in that answer a little bit more, and I think that to be a little bit fair to the answer and not be such a broad answer, ancient technology would be a really cool answer. Be
Yeah.
an expert on some kind of ancient technology type thing. And Tyler, do you know anything about these
Batteries?
these vase batteries?
Yeah, I do.
Because I know that batteries are a very simple complex, but the idea of these people developing this, and what were they using it for? I mean, what do you think?
So batteries are actually literally just dissimilar metals in electrolytic solution. So that's why you can do a potato. A potato contains dissimilar metals in the electrolytic solution that is the potassium glucose that makes up a potato. I don't know if that's right. I'm not a chemist, but leave me alone. I'm not a fucking chemist. But yeah. So I think primarily I've thought about this a lot because I like watching a lot of like bushcraft videos.
Yes.
And as an electrician, I like to think electricity is a lot easier to make than people think about. Fun fact here. First, I'm a big fan of fun facts, but did you know, voltage-wise, like the voltage that comes out of your outlet, 120 volts, okay? The voltage that you get whenever you skid your feet across the carpet, about 100,000 volts. Enough to
Really?
ionize the air whenever you touch a grounded potential. But
Wow.
the reason why it's not as dangerous is because the way current works, and current's what actually kills
Right.
you. But I digress. So I think that these batteries were primarily used probably for either heat. I don't think for light. I don't think they had the ability to make filaments, but they did have the ability to, if you can discharge chemical energy, it heats something up. So you could probably use it for, I could think even cooking. But realistically, like if you're talking about powering some sort of ancient device, you're not looking at having a significant discharge profile. You're not going to have a ton of current flow. You're not going to have them last very long, and they're most likely not going to be rechargeable because they didn't have the means to do that. So I'd say primarily probably heat, maybe just entertainment because it'll make sparks and be cool. Fire starting, that sort of stuff. But that's, I mean,
Fire starting. Okay, fire starting. So I saw another couple documentaries, and they were showing like hieroglyphs and stuff, and they were kind of depicting these ancient we would consider light bulbs, and they looked very similar to the modern style filament light bulb, but in an ancient aspect and very large, and it almost looked like they were powering it with something. And I don't know what they were doing with this giant light bulb, but man, I'm sure that they felt powerful with it.
Did you remember what they used for the filament? What material?
It was literally just a hieroglyph. So
Oh, okay.
anything beyond, inspection and being able to figure out when it was actually carved, it's all just speculation, man. And maybe they've figured out some more details ever since then, and I just haven't seen the release of them, but that's all that I know at this moment.
I think the pyramids can make their own episode on their own, so I'll stray off of that for now. But
yeah. Honestly, I get excited about that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up that answer because we are coming up to a little bit of time. We got a little bit to cut off the front there, but I hope. But so Tyler, do you want to answer your own question there?
Yeah, I'll go a little quicker to get onto my third, but
yeah, I'm sorry.
no,
man.
you're good, man. I actually wrote down. I won't show the page, but I've got like 8 things, and then I scratched out like 5 of them so I could do it.
Oh
I think
no.
about this a lot. First one, because the only thing I didn't scratch out once was I want to go finish up my pilot's license. I've done some stuff with it, but I want to get my pilot's license. I looked into it. You think, oh man, with flight you could save so much money. You can't. If you get your pilot's license, your air time is still going to be more expensive than going through commercial. But to me, just the freedom of it. I've flown in a plane before, like a single engine Cessna aircraft. I enjoy it, enjoy the freedom, enjoy it as a hobby, and it'd be super cool to just, you can't just get in your plane and go wherever you want. You gotta like do a flight log and all that, but
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool. And since I was in high school, I always thought I could go somewhere and, start a business. I can let people skydive. I don't know what goes into that. I could travel people around. But more for leisure.
That's such an awesome answer, man.
Yeah.
I love that answer.
Thank you.
Take flight, dude. I mean, honestly, I'd love to be able to fly. So, I don't know what an expert level. You'd be able to go anywhere, right? You could land anywhere. You could explore everything.
You know Denzel Washington, where he flips that plane upside down? That's it.
You
That's
wouldn't,
how
you wouldn't
made
even
it.
you wouldn't even have to be an ex-drunk pilot to be able to pull that maneuver off.
But it's involved. And in order to be an expert, you do have to do that, I think.
Oh, yeah, probably right.
But
You have to be an alcoholic, yeah. And an expert alcoholic, man, which, you're in the Navy, so...
I've got some training.
I'm sorry, Navy. Listen, I really propped you up there at the beginning, so...
Gotta tear you back down.
Yeah, man, just a little bit. Just a couple pegs.
Second one, weightlifting or bodybuilding. I wasn't really sure where to go into this, but
Woo!
I figured if I could... I don't know if it's obvious. I don't got a lot going on here, but if I could perfect...
I'm so lanky.
There's so many different... Like, I crossed out a bunch of different sports that I think would be useful, because for me, I've always enjoyed more, when it comes to weightlifting goals and that sort of thing, seeing a skill. Like, oh, can I run this fast? I did rock climbing for a while. Can I get up to the next level for rock climbing? That's challenging myself in those ways. But if I could just perfect bodybuilding, learning more about nutrition would go into that. Learning about how to work out, because there's so much information out there, and I've enjoyed talking to you guys about it as well. But
yeah,
I think that'd be something.
That's a crazy answer, because
it is.
How do you become an expert level weightlifter? Like what all goes into that? And
I think
that,
you have to
like
have
you
an
said,
Austrian
nutrition.
accent, and then you become an actor. I think that's what happens.
I think is a lot like what was it, the 1964 definition of porn given to Congress. It's a little funny to know exactly what it is, but when you see it, you know.
Yeah. All right. So, okay, you have to, at that level, you're gonna really understand your body. You're gonna understand. You're gonna understand how your body responds to everything that you put into it. It's all what you put in and what you get out at that level, right? So you're gonna be at a level where you just understand what's going on with anatomy, and man, that's a really good answer, because like,
Nailed it.
you know, you're gonna understand how you feel. You're gonna know what's going on with your body, and I'm not talking like expert doctor level stuff. I'm just saying like you know, oh man, I remember when I ate that earlier today. That's probably making me feel like this today. I couldn't get that extra pump in today, so you know, I need to cut that out, take that out, and you're just gonna be really healthy. I think that's an awesome answer, because I think every aspect of it's really cool.
Nice, thanks, man.
Yeah.
My final answer here, I really went. There was a lot of different skills that I crossed out a lot, but my final answer, which I crossed out 2 times before circling it, is welding. So, as an electrician by trade, there's a lot that helps out with that, but something
I'm out of this one.
as an industrial electrician that helps out is being able to make mounts, make brackets, and just as like a personal thing, there's a lot of really cool stuff you can do. So again, just like you guys have expressed, metalworking, woodworking, I think welding would be super cool. And I know there's a very big art to it. People are very persnickety about their welds. So
Right.
I feel like being masterful.
My welding literally just gets the job done. My weld looks so bad, but it works.
Your welding gets posted on the internet, and not in the good
You
sense.
should see my soldering. If my welding's anything like my soldering, whenever I get around to it, it's not going to be great.
If a fun project for you, if you ever want to, because it puts both electrical and welding even closer together, you can take a transformer out of a microwave
I've
and
seen
create
the
a stick
videos.
welder out of it. Yeah,
I've seen that.
you should do
Yeah,
it.
that sounds like something that would kill me. I'm gonna avoid doing anything with a microwave because they scare me. Magnets, how do they work? Sorry, that's an insane clown posse line.
But that's also a good question. Oh man, I could do a whole thing about magnets, because most of my job as an electrician has to do with magnets.
Yeah, we'll get to that concept because the whole world runs on it. So
It's a theory.
it is a theory. Yeah, we think we get it, but you know, it's about to swap in a year now, and we don't know what causes that sort of thing, do we?
You talking about the polarity of the Earth's magnetic field?
Yeah.
I'm way over my head in that one. I don't know.
I know, yeah. I just threw it out there because I think it's a interesting concept, and magnets are magnets, right? I mean, so it's still north-south. It still works a similar way, right?
I'd imagine. I don't know about a planetary thing. I'd have to do some Googling. But I do know...
Yeah.
I just mean magnets and, you know, and that sort of thing in general, and compasses. I mean, that's all... It all works off of magnetic
generators and
pull
motors. That's the biggest one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man. Okay, listen. Listen. This is. I wish that we would have used our time better, because that's a really good answer. We could keep talking about magnets and stuff like that for a really long time, and I'm afraid that we would branch off way too far on it.
I'm gonna write that down then. Pyramids and magnets are my 2 notes here.
Yes.
But
I know we wanted it to be our big hitter, but we might have to cut our third one down a little bit, because
I think that we can fit it in you know 5 minutes apiece, right?
yeah, let's do it.
I think so, because I think I've got a pretty... I can go ahead and give a pitch for this one as well.
Yeah.
So, my third question is... oh, it's not written down here. It's over here. But whatever, I know what it is. Do you support the death penalty? And if so, what should be a capital crime? And I would say that I can see the views from either side, but for me personally, the risk of sentencing someone to death for a crime they did not commit it weighs too heavy on my conscience to say that it's justified. We've got
Okay, that's a good answer.
Just going based off of that alone, I forget the
Yep.
statistic, but I did see one where in like the last 10 years or something, there was just a number of people that were found innocent before they were actually dead, basically. But it just makes you wonder, like, how many other people were killed that were innocent that just didn't get found out in time.
Yeah, and that's honestly such a great answer for my answer on the contrary, and I love that because you guys bring up a really good point, and that point is evidence. So, in my eyes, the only time that I could see it ever being justifiable would have to be somebody who like a serial pedophile type situation. I think that, man, you hear. I think that some of them can be rehabilitated, and I think that if it's caught at an early enough age, that sort of thing might be able to be corrected. But I think that it's something that stems deep down from childhood, and I think that this is a whole nother discussion about mental health and stuff like that. But I think that at a certain point, if there is killing and child molestation or raping involved and stuff of that nature in a lot of forms without them being caught, one time, if you jail them for one time, but if there's a lot of evidence and maybe they videotape that and it's really known, man, it's really hard for me to not say put them down. And I am really one for believing that humans can be cured.
Mm-hmm.
But it's you hear some of these people talk, there's no remorse, there's no nothing. They're like, listen, I just like bleepy bleep bleep, and I just like, man, I don't know if there's a point for them. And I don't mean that, I don't think that that's up to me. I think that that's up to, the laws of the land and whoever's up to make that sort of decision. I think that that's, but in my eyes, I just don't, if there's no hope for them, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's a point in letting them.
I think us as people, and everyone as people, realize that there are some irredeemable crimes. Some
Right.
things that are just, you truly can't come back from. You're better off not being here. My answer purely stems from a fundamental distrust of the criminal justice system as it is now.
Yes.
And,
Yeah, I completely understand that.
But I do agree with you that, like, in my heart or whatever,
Whatever's here.
whatever. I'm no doctor.
Gotcha.
Yeah, fuck you, man. I ain't no chemist.
And not only that, but you also have to go based on stats. I mean, you're a stats guy. You understand that stats they're undeniable, but they're not fair to how you feel. They don't they don't care about how you feel. Stats are stats, and when it comes to that, you have to realize that the system has failed in a lot of different places, and catching those kind of situations before these people meet their demise in a very unfortunate circumstance, that has to be relieved in a certain way. And if that means getting rid of it altogether, I mean, that's how it goes, right? I mean, that's the way. You have to go by percentages. It's just, in my eyes, okay, if I were to say, I fully understand your take on that, and I appreciate that answer a ton. I guess if I were to answer that in a different way, if we were to make one exception to the death penalty, I would make that for somebody who there was well-documented cases of them hurting children and and killing them or blah 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 over a certain amount of time. I don't know. I don't know what kind of standards you would set for that, but I don't know. Throw them on an island and make them duke it out.
Australia.
Collect them all.
That's what
And,
Australia was.
I mean, listen, death row is a long time anyway. So gather them all for 5 years, whatever. Put them all inside of a thing, and then we'll pay to watch them duke it out. And whoever wins gets to swim.
So the Hunger
until
Games,
they
basically.
get eaten by sharks.
What was that movie with Steve
It's like
Austin?
Condemned.
Condemned.
It's Battle Royale. Condemned,
Condemned.
Battle Royale, all of that. Yeah, the Condemned. I don't know.
I want to touch on one subject here because I felt bad that I was like kind of smirking when you were talking about pedophilia, which is not a smirk-worthy thing. But you said if you catch it early enough, and to me, I'm like, if there's a 5-year-old who's sitting there saying that another 5-year-old is cute, you're like, you gotta chop your dick off, Timmy.
That's not what I mean.
I know, I got what you're saying, but
yeah, no.
I was like,
so that is hilarious, and I'm glad that you said something because that phrasing was awful. What I mean is, I think that there definitely needs to be a lot more access to these kids because all of these people that you see that are doing these things, it's very trackable if you look at their history. It always stems down to some crazy childhood and all this, and maybe there's outliers, but.
I feel bad that I was laughing because you are talking serious, but you said we need to make it easier to access these children. I was like, no.
So luckily, the majority of the people listening right now are going to be podcast listeners because they can't see the fact that you two were just absolutely cracking up. Hunter can barely contain himself right now. We're talking about.
Oh my gosh. You were literally trying to fix your statement before. It was like, we need better access to these kids.
How are we gonna reach these kids?
And that's not...
Okay, guys, that was the episode of Baker Day.
No, I mean, that's serious, though.
Yeah.
And it is, at a kid level, you gotta recognize that these kids are having issues in the home.
Right.
That's what I was meaning by that.
It does
No,
you know,
I understand.
An important topic, mental health.
Dang it! Phrasing. Okay, listen. I love that because I hope that somebody gets a laugh out of that. That is such an awful...
I'm sorry, I could not hold it in. That was...
Mental health
I
is
feel better
important.
now.
Mental health's important.
That's the takeaway.
And... I tried to defend myself for so long while you two just couldn't hold it in together. That was hilarious.
See, but we
You
come
did a
off as
great
just
job.
the weirdos here because you're like, no, guys, pedophiles are bad, and we're like,
And that was so... And the people listening either caught what you guys heard or caught what I was saying. And so they're either thinking what you're thinking while I'm trying to, like... They're like, no, he doesn't understand. They're just cracking up at what he said earlier. And I honestly didn't even catch the phrasing on that. Oh, man.
sounds like I got to write down Jeffrey Epstein right underneath magnets.
Ooh, that's another one. Let's talk about the Hollywood pedophile scene. On another episode...
Yeah, that'll be a podcast. That'll be our last podcast.
That'll be our last one before we...
hang ourselves.
Suicide ourselves in a cell.
So,
when the cameras get cut.
well, I think it's just about
And-
camera cutting time. So,
You think so?
Alex, do you want to send us
Man.
off today?
Yeah, man. I think that this was a really good episode. I love those questions, dude.
Thanks.
I think that you know you've got a great way of tying them together, and you know I think that we've had a good run so far. I'm really excited, man. I get really excited for each episode, and you know we're gonna be coming out with some social media platforms very shortly. So probably by the time that you're seeing this right now, they're already gonna be out. We're already going to be posting links to them and everything.
Links will be here
And
here.
Here,
here,
links will be
there. Yeah.
all
There
over
goes
the
my
place
job.
here. Yeah, you know, our video setting here is just going to keep getting better and better. But yeah, guys, I'm super excited for the future here, and I'm really enjoying all this talk here. This is really good communication and conversation.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, well, see you next time on the Bacon and Eggs podcast.
All right. See you guys.